Boris Kodjoe back here on the show. Good to see you, Boris.
Always good to be here, Rich.
Now, I've known you for damn near 20 years, I think, right?
Yeah, a little longer, actually.
We met each other at a Jimmy V golf tournament
That's
years
right.
and years and years ago in North Carolina.
Late 90s.
What in the hell were you doing then? I have your whole list here. I can't keep up with you anymore. What were you? You were doing.
I was doing soul food.
Soul food.
Then. Yes, soul food
That's what you were doing.
was my first sort of foray into this world where I met my wife, and now we're married with 2 kids.
It's amazing. My first job on ESPN, I met my wife there too.
Yeah, I saw you guys when you were just dating, you and Susie. All the madness and the shenanigans.
Madness and
Susie
shenanigans.
and Rich. We would always roll our eyes when they were like, "Oh, there we go."
And you saw.
We're like, "Get it over with already."
But
What are you playing around for? Stop the madness.
This is amazing. And you saw right there the guy who was playing Cupid, trying to, was Stuart.
That's right.
Stuart Scott, right in the middle of all of it.
Yeah.
And
he was successful.
Well, God bless him.
Yes.
You know, I know. And he's been gone 5 years now.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
How did you meet Stu? Where did you meet him? Was that at the Jimmy V also?
I think
you
I met
too?
him. I met him at the Jimmy V, and then, I mean, when you meet Stuart, you fall in love with him immediately, and we just became fast friends. And whenever he came out to LA, we would, grab dinner or lunch, and I met his daughters, and he was just a phenomenal guy.
He sure was.
He is somebody. When you think of humanity, which in this political climate is like slowly fading away. Do you think of somebody like Stuart? He's one of the few men that I look up to, not in terms of what they've accomplished, but just in terms of what he represents as a man. I love him, and I miss him every day.
I do too. I think
absolutely.
about perfect example. What would he have thought of Zion Williams' night last night?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Great example.
Because we could talk about obviously who he was as a dad and a father and a warrior, but I would have just loved to have heard him what he would have thought about the latest from the NBA.
Yeah, he would have made fun of the fact that the first 3 quarters versus the last quarter. He would have enjoyed that a lot.
I know.
Which we all did, by the way.
And as I fully admitted, not only to you in the green room, but at the very top of the show, I put my kids to bed right around the middle of the 3rd quarter and had to catch up on
2 different Zions.
Totally.
Unbelievable.
But
you got to be fair. He's in preseason shape, which is completely normal.
Right.
Given his injury and how they're trying to slowly build him up, which is so smart. Because he's got a long career ahead of him, so to be careful and mindful about his physical development and adjusting the way he moves in order to be able to carry that weight that he carries and the way he plays is so explosive. I mean, what comes to mind, or the player that comes to mind to me, who had that kind of physical skill was Sean Kemp. He was another guy who was literally flying, but I think Zion is probably heavier than
I
Sean
think
Kemp
so.
was.
Kemp was,
even though
Kemp
he was
rock.
6'10".
Kemp was a rock.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he was chiseled.
So it's almost like if Sean Kemp and Charles Barkley had a baby. That's Zion Williamson. But I'm so excited for him. I'm excited to watch him these next years. It's just something that we've never seen before.
But it's interesting that you bring up weight. We have a still of a moment in the game from last night where he's sitting on the bench and ESPN put, as they say, on the bottom of the screen, the lower third. There it is, 285 pounds, 3rd heaviest player in NBA this season.
Holy cow. That's me and a 70-pound weight strapped to my back. That's crazy.
Could you imagine if people in your industry were measured that way? Just they zoom in on you like in an award show or something like that.
They kind of are. They kind of are. The way that we're scrutinized on camera is pretty similar, actually.
But I mean,
even though our weight has nothing to do with our performance, but still.
So what do you think he needs to? He can't play at 285, right? I mean, don't you think he's got what we got to get
for
him
his own benefit? I wish he would be 240.
Look, he's not sitting around, with hanging out with Smoothie King.
Well, you know
But,
what? You know what it is? I think that we all have certain habits that have been established by our parents, immediate environment. So the way he eats it's a habit. So I think that it takes a while for him to replace those paradigms with a new sense of responsibility and accountability, and say, okay, if I want to have a long career, if I want to have an 18-year career,
yes,
I have to subscribe to a certain way of living that not just fuels my performance, but also extends my years on the court.
He's also, what, 12 years old? How old is he?
Exactly. He's like
12.
13.
He's 12.
Officially 19.
19
I mean, so if he's
years
19, then he's
old.
still going to grow a little bit. I grew until I was 12. I grew 2 inches in college, so he could still grow. He could still grow 2 inches. I mean, I hope he has a great, mentor down there in New Orleans, somebody who's in his ear about, working towards a long career.
You know who could it be? It could be, and I'm serious, it could be Breeze. I mean, why would
Why not?
I mean, look
Absolutely.
at some guy who's 40,
Yeah.
and at some point, Brady went through, Boris Kodjoe here on the Rich Eisen show. He went through something that you just described. At some point, he realized, you know what? I got to start eating. I got to start living.
100%.
I got to start doing everything 24/7, 365. No cheat days.
Nope.
Cheat days might be an extra scoop of avocado ice cream, but you know what I mean?
Makes me cry.
That may be what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But he's still he's 19.
Yeah.
He was
He's
on
got
ESPN last night. Twitter exploded
Of
in
course.
every which way possible. That in the first 3 quarters, he's out of shape. He's not healthy.
I love
He's
it.
limping around. He does have sort of that run around. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of jogging.
I mean, look.
With a limp.
I didn't know what I was doing in my 20s. I had no idea about anything in my 20s. I could barely tie my shoes. He's 19. He's playing in the league. I mean,
Right.
he's not supposed to know all of these things.
Right.
And he has so many people in his ear right now. He has to first decipher which one of those voices he wants to keep around and which people he needs to step away from.
Right.
That's a whole process in itself. Who do you listen to? Who do you surround yourself with? A lot of people have great loyalty with their friends from high school. Not the best thing sometimes. So you have to figure out what is your journey and slowly sort of get on that path. And I wish him all the best. I hope he's going to be around for a long time.
17 straight points, though.
Incredible.
Fourth quarter, right?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
Just really exciting. And obviously, the folks in New Orleans are very excited. We've got right here on the Rich Eisen Show from ABC Station 19, Season 3. Premieres tonight, 2 hours on 8 Eastern on ABC. We'll talk about that a little bit more with Boris Kodjoe on the Rich Eisen Show. So, who do you think you got to feel the Lakers with LeBron and AD are your favorites based on what we've seen so far?
Yeah.
I'm of the belief that Boardman, when he gets to the playoffs with Paul George and Doc and the rest of this team that still is figuring its way out when people are not healthy, and when they're healthy, we're still figuring their way out. That when it comes down to it, that Kawhi has been the king of the postseason, as we've seen now, for just last year and obviously in years before. I'm still not sleeping on the Clippers just because they're a Laker town, supposedly.
Not at all. Especially, Boardman, I think he's done a great job load managing, right? Which people give him a lot of crap for. I think that's what it comes down to in the end. I love the fact that this year we have true parity for the first time in a long time. I can't even remember the last time nobody knew what was going to happen.
Right.
I love the Bucks. I love the Celtics. I love Miami came out of nowhere. A bunch of young players doing great things.
Miami has the same record as the Jazz right now, 31-13.
They're, I think, second in the East.
They are indeed.
Second or third. There you
they
go.
are.
Philly. I've not given up on Philly, especially when Embiid comes back. And then the West is stacked from top to bottom. I mean, I give the Lakers a little bit of an edge, but other than that, nobody knows what's going to happen. Even Houston, with the 2 young guns. I love this season, and I cannot wait to get to the playoffs because of that very reason.
And Giannis too. The whole concept of they need to win this year for him to want to stick around in Milwaukee. Before
he's like me. He's European African, so there's a different culture in play. It's a different mentality.
Walk me through that. What do you mean?
There's a great sense of comfort and happiness cannot be measured in superlatives. Once you're comfortable and happy, what else do you want, right? So if he is comfortable and happy in Milwaukee,
Yes.
which was his first experience coming to the States, he has built an environment he has that is conducive to him succeeding. He has his loved ones around him. He loves the community. I would not bet against him staying there.
So
if
you're
he's happy.
saying where he's
Look
from.
at Dirk.
Huh?
Dirk is another example of that. Dirk Nowitzki, right? Also from Germany, and he was never tempted to leave. He had a million options to go anywhere after his first 2 deals. He never wanted to go anywhere because he felt comfortable. His family was there. He had built an environment, a community around him that was feeding him, and he never wanted to leave.
So you're saying because of the European roots,
Mindset, yes.
don't use the usual conventional wisdom of player wants to go to a glitzy spot.
No. I know, and I know this country is all about always being the best and always maximizing your potential. Sometimes people just want to be who they are, where they are. And if they're comfortable and happy, then why push them to go somewhere else? Bigger market. Whoa, ooh. So what? We can't measure happiness in those kind of terms all the time. Doesn't work.
Yeah, and by the way, it works to 39-6 being the record right now.
There you go.
They've won 86% of their games.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
Boris Kodjoe here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, let's talk about Station 19. You're, as you referred to, Shonda Rhimes, who is very successful, whatever
Incredible.
she wants to put her mind or her
woman.
pen to.
Yeah.
What's it like being in a meeting with her?
Oh, she's super smart. She's funny, and she loves what she does, and that makes all the difference, right? So she has true integrity and purpose when it comes to her craft, which is writing, and so she doesn't compromise on that.
What is she plugged into that this country wants in television? I mean, again, Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, Scandal.
Yeah,
Your show. I mean, that's just 4 right there.
You know what I think? I think it's authenticity. I think it's representation, which we've always been challenged with here. To realize that this world is not white, right? And therefore we need to represent on television what the world really looks like, how people really speak, how they relate to each other, and do that in a relevant and a current way. And she has her finger on the pulse of that, and she's actually established that over the past 10 years or so.
Right.
So again, being a part of her ecosystem is a tremendous honor, and it's been a lot of fun. Every set is like a family affair. They don't accept assholes, which is so refreshing, which is so great, because one asshole can ruin it for everybody, right? And a lot of people in this business, unfortunately, who don't have the Constitution,
yes,
they need to compensate for their insecurities, and they become assholes, right? And money and fame just amplifies who you were before. So unfortunately, sometimes there's a few bad apples who make it bad for everybody else, and she doesn't mess with that.
And you play Captain Robert Sullivan. What have you learned about first responders, firefighters through your 3 seasons of doing this?
Firefighters are amazing. They put their lives on the line every single day for the greater purpose. I mean, watch what happened in Australia in the past couple of weeks and months.
My gosh.
Firefighters from all over the world came in and helped, and to be able to represent them, I learned a lot about, the physical challenges of carrying all this gear around all the time, and being in a fire is scary, y'all. It's really scary, because you cannot. Have you ever been in a steam room that was so hot that you couldn't really stand up?
Sure.
That's exactly how it is, times 10.
Right.
Right. So even with all that gear, the heat is unimaginable. And sometimes you're literally on all fours crawling through these spaces because it's too hot to stand up, too hot to breathe. Your lungs, I can go on and on to be able to represent that and do it in the most authentic way possible I'm very lucky.
Yeah, again, Station 19, again, season 3 premieres tonight on ABC at 8 Eastern Time. Tell me about CoFit.
CoFit was a labor of
app.
love. My brother, Patrick, who is a certified trainer, life coach, and a nutritionist, developed this with me. It's a family fitness app.
Okay.
Because what we figured out is that a lot of people have a challenge staying fit and healthy is because they say they don't have enough time. They can't go to the gym. They don't have any equipment. So we came up with a way for the whole family to engage in establishing some healthy habits, one bite size at a time. You don't need an hour and a half in the gym every day. All you need is 5-10 minutes a day to establish some of these positive patterns, which then help you become more healthy, whether it's working out or meditation or nutrition. We talk about diet. We don't like rigorous diets because they're not sustainable. If you like ice cream like me, you're not going to stop eating ice cream.
Come on. What ice cream are you eating?
I love ice cream.
Like, okay. Like, seriously?
Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's donut cookie. What is it called?
You don't look like
Chocolate
that to
chip
me.
cookie
I'll
dough?
be honest with you. You must be at teamcofit.com must be doing very well to get this app.
It's
put on
true.
your phone. Must be nailing it.
Everything in measure, Rich. Everything in measure. You can't overdose on ice cream, of course, but you gotta, everything has to be in moderation.
Did I see Terry Crews in that video?
Terry was in there,
The
yes.
screen?
We got friends stopping by. It's a family affair. When you work out even 5 or 10 minutes a day, you do it with the family. It's sustainable. It's fun.
Yes.
You create some healthy habits for your children.
Yes.
Who become more and more sedative, sitting on the couch on their devices.
Now, in the video,
It's
he
bad.
took his shirt off. Was that scripted or was that unscripted for
It
Terry
was not.
Crews?
You cannot script anything for Terry.
Okay.
Terry does what Terry wants to do, which is great. I love him.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on. You
Thank
were
you,
welcome
always.
anytime, as you know that.
I appreciate it.
And it's funny just to bring this all full circle when we talked Stuart at the very beginning. When he first met you, okay, and we just saw there was a great oral history of Stuart, of people who have met Stuart and known Stuart that was in the ringer. I don't know if you saw that. It was great. And he just thought he was better than you. Okay, he even basically just wanted to, whenever he was
sizing
he was
you up.
competitive about everything.
Totally.
He probably thought he could have done your job as an actor better than you.
Of course. Oh, no doubt.
And that if
Absolutely.
given the chance to be a movie star, a television star, an actor, deep down, he thought he would have won an Oscar given that chance. That's
100%.
right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Did he ever say that to you? To
Absolutely.
your face?
Yeah. He did. He wasn't pulling any punches. And the funny thing, the way he put it,
amazing.
he would always ask you a question that seemed really topical.
What do you mean?
But it was really hidden criticism. You know what I mean?
Walk me through that.
Like
one.
he would say, so when you in Brown Sugar, when you were doing the impromptu, the rap that you were doing there with Mos Def, was that did you write that before? Did you? So basically, he was telling me that he wouldn't have written it. He would have just done it off the top of his dome.
Yeah.
So he would ask you a question that was really loaded.
Yeah.
And then you ended up walking away from the conversation feeling bad.
Yeah.
And he felt empowered.
Yes.
That was Stuart.
Interesting enough, he would write down all of his catchphrases
See?
on his shot sheets, even including booyah. I knew. By the way, it's spelled
Come on.
booyah because I knew that BOO-YOW is how he would spell it on his shot sheets.
Wow.
Because that's what he would do.
Wow, see?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I love that about him.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Stuart.
That is Stuart. May he rest in peace.
Incredible.
Man. Love that guy. Good to see you, Boris.
Thanks, Rich.
At Boris Kodjoe on both Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, check out Station 19 tonight, 8 Eastern on ABC.
And give Susie a kiss from me.
Yes, same to Nicole.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.